Your controller button layout has to be one of the craziest things you can change to become a crackhead in Warzone. Most of the players that are playing on a different level, especially on console, they have an advantage because of the way they change their button layout or the way they hold the controller. So in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly how you guys can improve with the game with your button layout, showing you guys all the tips and tricks on how you guys can become way better at all areas. So before we get into the video, just make sure you guys drop a like on the video and comment down below if there's any other tutorials or guides you guys want me to break down through the game. With that being said, the first thing I want to touch up on in today's video is your button layout. Of course, a lot of you guys have probably heard of this or seen it in your settings. Basically, button layout means basically how your buttons are mapped on your controller. This can change from a different variety of ways, and a lot of these other ways are much better than the others, or even the default way of holding the controller. So most people probably have this on default. If you are new to Warzone or if you've never changed your settings, then you're probably on default, which means you probably hold the controller in the normal way, which means your thumbs are on the N-lock sticks, you got your index fingers on both R1, R2, as well as L2 in R1 or L1. So with that being said, you have to use your thumb to look around and aim, as well as press X, circle, triangle, and square. Or B, A, Y, and X if you are on Xbox. But basically, you have to sacrifice your thumb for two mechanics in the game, which is movement as well as aim, which is kind of bad. Yes, you can be a really good player without doing this, but I highly recommend if you guys do want to increase your skill gap and your skill potential like cap, changing your button layout is going to be crucial to that. Or changing the way you're going to hold the controller, but I'll get into that after we touch up on the button layout. So I'm going to play this in slow motion real quick to show you guys exactly the difference between playing on something like a default button layout or playing on something like bumper jumper tactical, which is a setting in the game. But basically, you guys can see here that I'm running around the map. I'm able to look around, I'm able to crouch, slide, jump, swap weapons while still being able to track players. As you can see, I slide cancel right there. I even bunny hopped right here, and I'm still tracking this guy. I did miss a couple of shots because I took off my control freak on my controller. But you guys can see there's like a huge difference. I'm able to look around, jump around, bunny hop, all that sort of thing, while being able to aim and keep my enemies centered within my crosshairs. That's basically the biggest advantage it gives you, but it is a very big one compared to any other thing you can do. I know I make a lot of settings videos on the channel, but this is probably one of the biggest settings you guys can. Now, just like changing your sensitivity, this is going to take time to get used to, obviously. But if you guys do play the game a lot and you guys have the time and dedication to get better, then I highly recommend it. It's going to be one of the best decisions you've ever made on Warzone. Trust me. Now, most of you guys probably play like this. If you guys are on a regular button layout, you guys can see that I'm able to slide cancel. I'm able to do all that cool stuff, but I can't do it all at the same time because obviously I'm occupying my thumb over my N-lock stick to sacrifice it for moving around, like jumping or sliding. So it looks a whole lot more choppy, it's not as smooth, and honestly you have a higher chance of dying because you cannot look around while jumping or sliding, which means that if that person you're playing against can, then it's a good chance that they can probably break your camera and end up completely throwing you off in the game. So my biggest recommendation for those of you that are trying to get better is to do one of two things. You can either change your button layout to something that's much more better for movement or aim, or you can learn how to play claw. Playing claw means just the way you hold your controller. I'm sure a lot of you guys have probably heard of this, but for those of you that haven't, basically instead of holding the controller the normal way, I'm holding it at a claw position that allows my thumb to always stay on the N-lock stick, but my index finger basically controls everything else. It's actually not hard to learn, but it will feel weird for a long time holding the controller in that way. You might feel like you're gonna get arthritis after a while, but trust me, that's not gonna happen. It's basically as dangerous as holding the controller normally. There really is no health issues that's going to come down the line with that. I've been playing claw for like 6 years and haven't had any issues with my hands. But playing claw is one huge way, and honestly, the reason why I actually play claw is not because of Warzone, but it's actually because of the other Call of Duties I've played. They didn't actually have good settings to change your button layout, so I just had to kind of learn how to play claw. Nowadays, we have bumper jumper and things like that. Bumper jumper tactical as well, which is also really good. So you don't actually have to play claw, and it's really cool because in the gaming community back then, it was really hard to get on that next level of gameplay without knowing how to play claw. Which is why claw players are kind of rare nowadays, because most of the new players have the advantage to change their button layout, but most of the OG players didn't really have that option, so that's why you don't really see claw players that often. So that's basically all I have for today's video, just breaking down exactly why it's important to change your button layout and what I actually recommend for you guys. And yeah, if this actually helped you guys out at all, help you guys improve in any sort of way, be sure to let me know in the comment section below. If you guys can, drop a like in the video as well, and let me know in the comment section what you guys want me to post next. If you guys have any other tips or tricks or guides that you guys want to request on the channel. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace, love, and understanding always.